What's up guys, today we are going to be talking about some stuff that I have picked up during my PVM experiences in RuneScape 3, and we're going to talk about some stuff that I do in game while I'm PVMing or doing things just to help out along the way, make things a little bit easier, make things smoother, maybe give yourself a bit more damage, all that sort of good stuff. Things that I know that not everybody or even not most people actually use or maybe even know about. So hopefully you find some useful information in this video, and if you do, then make sure to leave a like, do subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will mention there is a couple of things in here that I have mentioned in the past in separate videos, but they were worth mentioning again, as one, those videos didn't get a whole lot of coverage, so a lot of people didn't know about that, so it is worth re-mentioning. But also I know that these are things that a lot of people just don't know about in general, and so I thought, you know what, they're worth mentioning again as well. So if you do know some of the stuff in here, don't worry too much. Hopefully there is something you don't know, and if you do know everything, then leave something down below in the comments that you think other people may not know about that you do and could be helpful. Before we do get started, one last thing, this video is sponsored by PUBG Mobile. PUBG Mobile is one of the most popular free-to-play mobile battle royale games in the world, with 50 million, yes, 50 million active daily players and more than 1 billion downloads in total. You can enjoy an authentic battle royale experience at a fast pace while playing alone, or in a duo, or with your entire squad. The game has regular collaborations with the top IPs, including things like Spider-Man No Way Home, Baby Shark, many other things as well. And yes, that means that there are some pretty badass skins in game as well to customize your character with. Ancient Secret Arise is a new game mode available until September 12th. The Ancient Secret Arise game mode is available on the maps Erangel, Miramar, and Livik. So jump into the battleground and explore the mysteries of the Ancient Secret. In this new game mode, a path highlighted by a golden color will be visible during every match, with the legend of a temple visible at its starting point. Further down the path, multiple portals open up as a temple moves closer. Players can enter the temple via one of the portals. Once in the temple, players will gain access to a massive amount of loot, but only if you're able to beat its guardians. While playing, you will encounter a sand giant which is traveling all around the map. The sand giant is holding a lot of secrets on his back. You'll be able to find Scorpio crates, and if you defeat the scorpions guarding the crates, you'll be able to get yourself valuable supplies. There's also a desert merchant, which if you go ahead and save up your shop tokens, you could get some discounts for a flare gun and other items. These are only 3 of 8 pretty epic features currently in the game, so head to my link that is in the description, download PUBG Mobile, and discover Ancient Secrets Arise's various mysteries alone or with your friends. Okay, so the first one is one that many will know about in some way or another, but I'm going to make it a little bit more beginner friendly for a lot of people. This is going to be that you can stack more than one ability with your Greater Chain. So the way Greater Chain works is you use Greater Chain, and then you use a different ability, and it will apply that ability to all the other targets as well, right? So you can see my combustors on both of those. However, you can actually cancel a Great Concentrator Blast. This is the bit most of you will know about. You can cancel a Great Concentrator Blast with changing to a staff, allowing you to then use another ability on all the other targets as well. So you get half of a Great Concentrator Blast, or most of one, and then another ability. Now you can actually stack 3 if you use this method that I'm going to talk about, or you can just make your life way easier. So if I use my Greater Chain on the middle one here, and then I use a Gothic Staff, that will not remove the effect. If I use then Omnipower, you'll see that still applies everything to everybody, everything else. Now, because Gothic Staff, the way this works is Gothic Staff doesn't remove the effect of Greater Chain. It just doesn't. That's the whole point of this. What this allows you to do is, without actually cancelling the Greater Concentrator Blast, you can still do this. Because I know a lot of people who are saying, oh, Init, I know you can stack things with Greater Chain, but I can't cancel my ability with switching. It's too much. I don't like the switches, so I'm just missing out. Well, actually, if you just keep your staff on, or whatever you use Greater Chain with, you can then use your Gothic Staff spec and then another ability, and you don't have to worry about any switches, but you still get that extra out of it. So they've got those Gothic Staff on both of those, followed by the bleeds. It still works. It still works great, and this is probably a pretty convenient and easy way to do things. So if you're going to use magic and you are using Greater Chain to clear stuff, if the target has enough health, you should always follow up with the Gothic Staff first and then use another ability, because hey, it's more damage, no effort, and it just makes sense to do it. Whereas obviously if you just use the Greater Chain followed by, I don't know, like a bleed or something, you're only getting that out of it. Add a Gothic Staff to it, it's more damage, and it's nice and easy to do. No switches needed. So hopefully you found this useful. Okay, so here's one I've actually mentioned before, like I said in the beginning, but is incredibly useful, and those videos didn't get a ton of coverage, so it's worth mentioning again. I know a lot of people, I mentioned this on stream, I mentioned it to people on Discord, and I was like, have you got this item? And many of you are going to like, I know what he's talking about, but many people are going to be like, what the frick is he on about? So that is going to be, if you go to the rewards trader here for Dungeoneering, you can buy something called a Spirit Cape. Now, this cape gives a strength, range, and magic bonus 17. Well, that's pretty trash. You don't want to use that, of course. Why would you want this in it? When purchased, permanently reduces the cost of any scroll abilities that your combat familiar have by 20%. Meaning if you have a Ripper Demon on 100% points, it will be able to use more scrolls before it runs out. This is just basically going to be a passive buff to any familiars that uses a scroll. So you can use it on your Hellhound, you could use it on a Titan if they're even usable anywhere. I think maybe at the Ascension dungeon, maybe you use it there. But also Ripper Demon, you'll get more out of it. So DPS increase, you grab it, you can literally just chuck it in your bank and it'll stay in there. I think you can actually destroy it as well. I don't think you need it in your bank. I've still got it in there, but I think you can destroy it, and as long as you bought it, the effect is still there. It still works, and it's pretty cheap. We'll just quickly check how many tokens it was so you guys know, and you probably saw before. 45,000 tokens. Nice and easy to get. If you don't have this, get it. It's a passive effect that you don't have to do anything with. You just unlock it and it applies it to your account. There's no reason not to get this if you don't already. So there you go. This is one, like I say, I've mentioned already, so I'm sorry if you guys have heard this a couple of times, but I guarantee if there's anyone who didn't know about Spirit Cape, let me know in the comments. I guarantee there's plenty of people who had no idea. So yeah, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so this next one is kind of answering the question that I get on stream a lot, and it's in it, you're using range. Why do you have 2 rune pouches in your inventory? Well, for many people, you'll already know it is for Smoke Cloud, but then for even more people that do already know this, you're probably thinking using Smoke Cloud on range is a pain in the ass. It doesn't apply because you have to stand still and wait for like an auto attack to come through and stuff. It's really hard to do unless you do it at the beginning of a fight, right? You can do it at the beginning, you'll have to use Ingenuity of the Humans, then cast Smoke Cloud. I'm pretty sure if I cast Smoke Cloud right now, obviously it's going to splash, right? Because I'm in range gear, it's going to splash. That's just how it is. You have to use Ingenuity of the Humans. However, it is nice and easy to cast this with range and Ingenuity of the Humans at the beginning of a fight. People don't bring it though because they think, well, I'm only going to use it once, and then I don't know where to actually apply it again during the fight. Like, there's never any downtime for me to do it unless I just stand there, and that's lost DPS, right? So what you can actually do, and what's worth knowing, is if you ever use a defensive ability that is, I have no ammo on, 1 second. If you use a defensive ability that doesn't do any damage, you'll be able to use an auto attack straight after that without having to wait. So that's your best time to do it. Or when you use Death Swiftness. If you drop a Death Swiftness during the fight as well, like a second Death Swiftness in the middle of the fight or anything like that, you can then reapply it then as well. So you can use a defense ability, which I'm going to show you. It'll splash for the first one, and I'll use the Ingenuity of Humans for the Death Swiftness. But you can use defense ability like this. And then if you spam the Keybind, you'll cast it straight after, and you'll see it did splash, but it still applied. And then I still didn't lose a tick except for one auto attack. I could use ability straight after. For example, I'll do it again. Use Freedom, use the thing, and then you can use ability straight after, no problem. And then the next thing would be that if you use Death Swiftness, you can do the same thing. So if I'm attacking this thing here and say you are in a new phase, you want to use Death Swiftness. If you use Death Swiftness, you can then apply Smoke Cloud just like that, and you lose literally nothing out of it. It's the best time to do it. You're not stood there at all, and you can see Smoke Cloud is now applied. So you want to use these after defense abilities or an ultimate, because as long as you don't do damage to the actual target while casting that ability, like Anticipate or Freedom or Resonance or anything like that, then you will have an auto attack ready to use straight away. And the same goes with Death Swiftness, Sunshine, and maybe Berserk. I'm not too clued up on melee. I'm going to assume it probably works the same with Berserk, but again, this is the best time to do it. So this next one could just be that I had no idea about this at all. Like, I didn't know about this until very recently. I started doing ED2 more often, but this is something that I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't know about as well. We'll see what you guys think. If you knew about this, let me know in the comments. If you didn't, then also let me know, and you can laugh at me for being a complete noob, basically. But what you can actually do is in ED2, and in many other places too, this doesn't just apply to ED2. I just didn't know it actually worked in ED2, so that's why we're going to use this as the example. In ED2, you can actually use Dominion Mines, which I've got here, to clear through the dragons, because they're not above the level that you can actually use Dominion Mines on. So Dominion Mines, I'll put it on screen for you in editing, what level you can actually use Dominion Mines on, what monsters you can use them on. As long as they're below that certain level, then you can use them. Now this is a terrible run. I don't even have arrows for my quiver or anything, but basically what I want to show you guys is that you can actually use Dominion Mines on these dragons in ED2. to get through quicker. So if I just drop them down here next to this dragon, which I've just done, and then stand back, you're going to see this damage is going to apply to this dragon. There you go, 5.8k hits on each. That's half the dragon dead already, and I've not even hit it. So it's actually really freaking good. You can use it on all the dragons through the dungeon, except for the bosses. So obviously, as long as it's below the combat level that I put on screen, you'll absolutely be able to use Dominion Mines on that. And that's everywhere as well. Like, it's not just in ED2. You can use it on anything that's a lower combat level than what Dominion Mines requires. So that's pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty good. It saved me a lot of time in ED2 when I'm doing runs now. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to share this with you guys too. And if I'm the only one who didn't know about this, then absolutely roast me in the comments. That's fine. But when I found this out, I was like, wait, that's actually a really good point. I took them to ED2 for the hands in the Blackstone Dragon, but I never use them throughout the dungeon to speed it up. And it definitely does speed it up. It saves you probably like a minute a run or something, maybe a little bit more. I'm not too sure exactly, but hey, it all adds up. And eventually you're going to get an extra kill, and it's just worth it, in my opinion. Anyway, like I say, let me know if you know about this. This next one is another one that I've mentioned, I think, just once before, but it is something that, again, in that video didn't get much coverage, and I know it's super useful, and I know a lot of people don't know about this as well. And that is that if you go into settings and then to your controls, of course, this is a keybind one, scroll all the way down here in the action bar section, all the way down to the bottom. And then in the bottom of the action bar setting, just for Windows and navigation, you have these extra keys here, okay? So these extra keys let you use your familiar action, they let you use your special attack, which is obviously not your essence of finality, it's just your regular special attack. That you do target cycling, target directly, all that sort of stuff. And you can change a lot of things here. Like your action button is the thing like at Karapak, the thing there that comes up, the extra action button. Same at Raksha as well. Your quick prayers, all this sort of stuff doesn't need to be put on a keybind. So like you'd have to have it like slotted or anything. So if you want to set up your quick prayers, for example, if you use that, you don't have to drag this off and put it somewhere on your action bar. You can do that, but you don't need to. So you can definitely just set it up in here and it'll work anyway. So for example, my familiar action is Shift and V. That'll mean that my Ripper Demon or my Calgarian Demon uses a spec, and I don't have to have that on an action bar anywhere. It just works from here. The same with special attack for my staff. My staff spec works exactly the same way, and target cycle and all that sort of stuff. So this is super useful. You can even have like area loot and stuff, but it is definitely super useful to know about this because it saves you a lot of keybinds. Like a lot of people use all this stuff and they have it all down here, but like if you have all of this keybind, then that's straight away, that's like four keybinds that you've got there that you don't necessarily need to have, and you don't have that much. Like you do have a lot of spaces, but when you start adding everything, you really do need to use it all. So having those saved is definitely hella useful. It really is. I technically should use my quick prayers, like I really should. But I've got 6 spaces here that I could actually free up and just have other stuff there and just do the quick prayers, but it's force of habit. And maybe I'll do it after this video, actually. I really should, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, I hope that you did find this useful. If you did, then do leave a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel if you are new around here too and you like this sort of stuff. I tend to make like different like series stuff that's just meant to be entertaining, like just PVMing, giving money to like free-to-play people, that sort of stuff. And then every now and again, I'll put up something like this where I'll talk about items that you should be getting or things like that, and just go from there. But anyway, if you do enjoy, like I say, do subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. And that's pretty much it from me. So thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.